Here it is, the 2023 GMC Canyon, fully redesigned for 2023, and what I believe may quite possibly be one of the greatest redesigns in recent memory with any truck. This is a big improvement, in my personal opinion, over the previous generation of the Canyon. You'll have to tell me what you think about that as we work our way through the video. So we're going to find out today, is the 2023 GMC Canyon better than ever? This is the Denali trim level we're going to be looking at, but regardless of trim level, you are going to see a factory lift and a wider track on all of these Canyons. This model does come with an exterior color of Summit White. The interior color is jet black. And we're going to take a look at everything that you can expect to find here if this is a truck you wish to buy. One thing that I think is interesting here, and you can tell me what your thoughts are on this, is that the Canyon doesn't really look like any Canyon before it. I think that's a good thing. It is looking, for a good portion of the truck and the design, very similar to what we see with other GMC trucks. The nice wide grille with that GMC logo. You are going to have your forward-facing camera there. And if you are a fan of chrome, you're going to find quite a bit of that here. We're going to have the LED headlights, the LED fog lights, and the LED daytime running lights here as far as the overall look goes. And unfortunately, that is one bad thing about the Summit White exterior color, is that you can't see the hood lines quite as well. But just to show you a little bit of these lines and how everything works, I think if we had a different color, maybe a darker color, it might be a little bit easier to see. But these trucks, especially if you go with the AT4 trim level, are going to be extremely capable off-road. In this particular case, we are going to have cameras all over the truck. You can see one of the camera views right there. I showed you that front view camera. You also have, again, that chrome right here. If you like chrome, the chrome mirror caps are here. That's going to look nice. The chrome door handles, and on the front door handles, you're going to have the passive entry button right there. So that means when you have the remote on your person, you will be able to lock and unlock the truck by pushing that button. Just a little bit of an easy convenience to have. Here is the remote for 2023. You can see, yes, it does have the remote start built in right there. I know a lot of you like to know about that. And capless fuel fill is what you'll find when you open the gas door right here, in case you are curious to know. If you're researching these trucks out and you've looked at the Chevrolet Colorado, there is going to be a difference here under the hood. You have two different tune-ups that bring two different horsepower and torque amounts. Here, you only have one, and it is from the 2.7 liter turbocharged four-cylinder. It's going to have 310 horsepower and a plentiful 430 foot-pounds of torque, made it to an 8-speed automatic transmission. And the tire and wheel size, obviously this truck is four-wheel drive, so we're going to have on the tires 275 on the width, a 60 series sidewall, and it's going to be wrapped around those 20-inch wheels. And don't worry, I'm not going to leave you hanging on MPGs. 17 city, 21 highway, 19 combined, and 5.3 gallons of gas is what GMC says you should use for every 100 miles you drive your Canyon. And if you're curious, you have a 21.4 gallon gas tank. And we can just take a look from the side at what we have with the overall design and look for the exterior of the truck. From this particular viewpoint, you're going to have the fixed steps right here for getting in and out of the cab, which isn't a bad thing because this truck does sit fairly high off the ground. Not terribly bad, but enough to say, you know what, that's a good thing. You will have the bumper steps right here. Obviously, you can see that your feet can get on here, your foot can get on here. Not feet, unless you have really small feet, but I guess you could put 2 feet in there maybe. But good sure-footedness, so a good track there that you can stand on and make it easier to get in and out of the truck or the bed of the truck when needed. And let's talk a little bit about what we have with usability. And payload ranges between 1,280 and 1,670 pounds. You do have the spray-in bed liner. You're going to see multiple tie-down points here, and the 120-volt power outlet will be built in here into the bed. But one of the big changes for 2023, let's see if we can open this and show you, is going to be the area right here. This is actually an airtight setup that we have here. where you can actually put ice in here and ice down drinks and different things like that. I don't know if I can get it out, but right here is a drain plug. I've tried to get these out in the past at auto shows and couldn't do it. But that is your drain plug right there. So you can actually drain all of the water out once it melts, all that good stuff. And I know there's an accessory that goes here. I don't know for sure what that is. Somebody probably does. Tell us down in the comments. I would really appreciate that. But you can see you're going to have the Denali logo right there. Obviously the sliding rear window and that cab light up there. Quite a bit going on here. A lot of space. Something that really may set this truck into a position as being the absolute best on the market midsize truck. But we're not going to be able to answer that question completely, especially if I can't stop getting tongue-tied. But until we hop into the interior, so let's do that now. And being that this is the Denali trim level, well, you're going to have some very special things as far as interior design goes, such as what we have here. How comfortable is that armrest? If you press down on it like this, it doesn't feel very soft. But if you just put your arm up there and give it the true armrest test, it actually is very comfortable. And I would demonstrate this, but I think you know how to raise the seat cushions. You're just going to use the release built right here, but I couldn't do all that one-handed, so obviously that's pretty easy to figure out. You do have what you could use potentially for some under-seat storage. Obviously, we have more on the other side, but I'm just raising this one side. If you need to change the tire to a spare tire that is located obviously underneath the truck, well, there are the tools to do that. And we'll hop on inside real quick here and see how things work. There is a lot of space back here. You can see how much leg room I have. And keep in mind, obviously, that's going to vary depending on who is sitting in the front seat. What about headroom? Well, at 5'10", there's what I have. I can't quite get the camera up as high as I'd like to because of the microphone being where it is. And then we're going to have the dual air conditioning vents back here, as well as dual USB ports. I am a little surprised there's not 3. I think there should be, because you have seating for 3 people back here. But you also have the power outlet there on the rear of the center console. We're going to have the cup holders built in, not only on the rear of the center console, but let's see if I can get that down. 2 more cup holders here for rear seat passengers with the fold down armrest. Now, you do have the manually sliding rear window there. Seems like being a Denali that it should be a power rear window. Now, one thing, depending on who you are, what do you think? Would you rather see a panoramic sunroof? What are your options there? Do you like the conventional size? I know for me personally, because no matter what, eventually these sunroofs, the gaskets wear out and they eventually leak. I prefer no sunroof. And last but not least, back here in the rear area, the rear seating area, you will have these seat pockets on the back of each seat, adding a little bit more of an option for storage. And one thing I did want to show, even though a lot of people will say, oh, everybody knows about that, that's never the case. But in case you didn't know, the child safety locks are activated here on the rear doors. So when this switch is in this up position towards the outside or towards the lock logo right there, they're not active. When they're in that down position, they are active. So if you're out in the middle of nowhere and you want to check out the back seat of your brand new Canyon, make sure at least one of these is unlocked, or you're going to have to crawl through the pass-through to get into the front seat. Speaking of the front seat, let's take a look at what we have with the door panel on the passenger side front door. We're going to have a very similar design with the exception of the wood grain trim right here. A little bit of chrome around that, and you can see the contrast stitching and a very large, really what equates to a lower and an upper door bin. You have the larger section right here with a large place for a bottle or a cup or whatever someone's drinking out of, or whatever you want to put there for that matter. Power seats that are both heated and ventilated for the driver and the passenger. The Denali logo right here. I like the way that looks. Everything looking very nice. As far as the overall design goes, and you're going to see that design work its way into the interior, that chrome continues, as does that wood grain trim. On this particular trim level, we are going to have the nice large glove box right here. Doesn't have any gloves in there, but you could put some in there, I guess. Couple of options for connectivity here for the front seat driver and passenger. Not that you're going to have a driver in the rear. Well, you might. That's why they call them backseat drivers, right? The kind of person you don't want back there. And wireless charging. That's your wireless charging pad. And do I need to really tell you what that is? Probably not. We'll go through that later on. But we have the shifter right here. Do you like the shifter here, or would you rather have a column shifter? I'm always curious to know what everybody's thoughts are. Obviously, the power parking brake right there, and the cup holders. And the good thing about the multitasking lid for the center console, because it's also an armrest, is that it does sit up at a reasonable height. I like that. You have the removable tray right here if you want to take that out, and plenty of space down there in addition to a 12-volt power outlet. Let's see if I can give you a good view of that. Kind of a little small for my hand to go in there, but you can see what is there. Obviously, here's where you're going to control things as far as your power tilting and sliding sunroof. And then we'll take a look here. Kind of an interesting look, kind of unique. Usually the lights for the vanity mirror are inside this area around the mirror, but they're on the outside, and that actually may be a better thing. I don't know. I'd have to try it at night to see, but we'll find out maybe one day in the future. And there's how far back the sun visor will slide for the passenger and obviously for the driver's side as well. I think that will do a great job of blocking things out as far as the sun goes, but we're just getting started. It's time to talk technology in the driver's seat. It's likely I don't need to tell you too much about the differences between the passenger and this driver's side door. A few more buttons and switches here. The main thing that's going to be the biggest difference is 2 settings for seat memory. So that's going to be pretty easy to deal with as far as that goes. And then we'll hop inside here and take a look at the not only 11-inch screen for the digital dash, but the 11.3-inch, as you can see with animated graphics, infotainment screen. So we're going to reach over here, hit the push button start. Nothing new, obviously, but I tell you what is new is going to be what we find right here, and that's going to be the all-new, completely updated digital dashboard. It looks fantastic. I think that GMC has done a great job here, and we're going to be in good shape. Now, I'm not going to put my seatbelt on at the moment, but you can see what's there where that's concerned. You have to put your seatbelt on to drive. You can go into the infotainment screen to actually change that if you so desire. So depending on the situation, you can go through a lot of different settings here with your steering wheel mounted controls. Obviously, you're going to have cruise control over here, but a very nice new look with the digital dash. It looks very modern. It looks very nice. A nice little surround there as far as the chrome goes around there. Pretty much what we see all across the dashboard. And here with the new 11.3-inch touchscreen. Check this out. I really like that. And one thing that I know a lot of people are glad that is still here, it has never gone anywhere, but you do still have your knob for controlling the radio, the volume, and turning that on and off. But we have so many different features here. You do have Google integration here with Google Assistant. I'm not going to do a demonstration of that because a lot of the time when I do, it sets off your Google in your house, and so we're going to try and avoid that, but obviously you could use that right there if you wanted to. And as we take a look at the vehicle settings, I'm just going to show you very quickly what all is here. You can go in and make changes. In fact, there's one thing that I really like, and hopefully I can give you a good view of it. That's your head-up display. A little bit of a different setup here as far as how that goes, how you adjust things, you adjust brightness and all that kind of stuff. You can obviously take that, and I'm sure you can do that, hopefully. I just can't get that to work for myself. But anyway, we won't worry about that right now. But you can obviously go through and make a lot of changes and whatever you may wish to do where that is concerned, instead of having the controls over here that we have on the full-size trucks, the 1500s and 2500s and so forth. But you can see what all is here. You even have your drive and park right there. We're not going to demonstrate that today, but it is there if you wish to use it. But one thing that I really like here, and just real quick, let's go out of that, see if we can get that to go off for us. Okay, Google, get off the screen. There we go. Obviously, you can pair your phone. You have Google Maps here, which I'm not going to be able to demonstrate that at the moment, but again, that's voice activated, so you don't have to worry about going and manually inputting anything unless you wanted to, but you don't have to do that. And so obviously you're going to have everything here for trailering. I mean, basically the same system we've seen with the full-size trucks for quite a while now. But one thing that is definitely going to be different here for 2023 with the Canyon, we're going to have a plethora, a load, a multitude, a whole bunch, a whole pile. Okay, what else can I say about it? Of camera views, front and rear. We're going to have that overhead view that you already saw there. And then I showed you the view from the mirrors, or where the cameras are located. There's the actual view from those side view mirrors. And you can look front and back depending on what you want to do with that. You can turn your trajectory lines on and off. We're in the right place with all of that. And a couple more views here as far as what you can see. This truck does have the trailering package and all the stuff that goes with it. And here's everything for controlling not only the ventilated seats, but the heated seats. I'm going to leave those off. Just wanted to show you that it's there. Controls for your dual zone climate control, and quite a few features right here. Kind of the one touch as far as that goes. You can turn your auto stop start feature off if you so desire to do so. And then we'll go here. I told you we were going to run through the modes. Check out the graphics here. I really like what GMC has done. I'm wondering if these are not the best in the industry now. Very crisp, very clear. You can see what all is here. Very easy to deal with. And we go back to normal right there, off-road. You can see what all is there. All I'm doing is turning the dial right here. A very simple system to use, very effective. I think GMC has done a phenomenal job here. All right, guys, we're gonna hop out on the road for a really quick test drive. Being that this truck has already been purchased, I can't drive it very far. So we're just gonna drive it back to the dealership, but I will give you my impressions of what it's like to drive, at least on this quick test drive. What little I am experiencing here, the truck handles very well. Braking seems to be good, and acceleration is good. You have a decent amount of torque to help with the acceleration of the truck and getting down the road and doing all that stuff. It would be fun to tow and do all of that here, but obviously we can't do that today. But one thing I can tell you is that the ride quality seems to be improved over the previous generation of these trucks, and so that's a good thing. Even though it's quite off-road capable, you still have what I think is a comfortable on-road driving experience. And here we are, already back at the dealership. I told you that was going to be quick. I promise we'll get a longer test drive in the near future, but the truck seems to be very comfortable, very enjoyable to drive. And ultimately, I can't really say a whole lot more about it because, well, I can't really do a lot right now. But other than that, you know, it's a fun truck to drive. It seems it's easy to drive, easy to get around in, easy to see out of, and ultimately, well, about what you would probably expect from GMC where this is concerned. But I am looking forward to doing a little bit longer drive in the near future. For now, that's the best we can do. By the way, one more thing I did want to share with you. As I was backing up, I realized that this seat will let you know when you're getting close to things with the vibration and all that kind of stuff. So one of the great safety features that you're going to find here. So tell me what you think about the all-new, fully redesigned 2023 GMC Canyon. Obviously, this is one of the higher trim levels, and so it's going to have one of the higher sticker prices. But there are other options, and as they come into Morgan Buick GMC from where I borrowed this particular model, well, we'll show them to you right here on the Vehicle Visionary YouTube channel. I do want to say a special thanks to Kylan at Morgan Buick GMC. This model belongs to a customer of his, and they both said it was okay for me to borrow it for today's video, so I really appreciate that. And a special thanks to each and every one of you for being kind enough to give me the opportunity to give you a vision for your next vehicle. If you enjoyed this video and would like to learn about other vehicles you may wish to consider purchasing, check out the video that's on the screen right now, and I will see you there.